Welcome to the 2025 Dialogue, a masterclass series by the HR Association of India. I am Neha Jagnani, and today we are joined by Vinay Trivedi, an accomplished HR leader whose expertise span talent management, employee engagement, and global workforce strategy. Today's conversation is just not about leadership. It's about fostering women empowerment, gender diversity in the workplace through intentional actions and inclusive leadership. Vinay is the global head of HR, admin, and travel at TerraPay, a leading fintech firm. With over 15 years of experience in HR, he has driven TerraPay's growth from 100 to 700 employees across 35 countries, establishing tech centers in Bangalore, Latin, and Africa. An XLRI alumnus, he specializes in talent management, employee engagement, and compliance. Vinay also mentors Select Brands, a rising D2C startup. Recognized with multiple awards, including the TerraPay Young Leader Award, he's a LinkedIn top voice for HR, recruitment, and performance management. Vinay, thank you so much for joining today. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure having a conversation with HRAI. I've been associated with HRAI for over 4.5 years now, almost five. So it's always good to be back on the platform. It feels like I'm back home.
Sure. Thank you so much. Fantastic. It's a pleasure to have you in all the initiatives that we do and contribute. Thank you, Vinay. So, to kick things off, my first question for you is Vinay, TerraPay operates across 35 countries and it's a diverse workforce. So, how do you ensure gender diversity and women empowerment remain a priority in these different cultures and business landscapes?
It's a very interesting question, that you asked. So we've really scaled the organization in the last 3 years, and we were very mindful of the growth we were looking at in the organization. Like you just mentioned a couple of minutes back, we've done a 0 to 750 people in the last 3 years, and that too globally. So one of the things that we always had on our mind when we were scaling
Mhm.
is to not have differentiation in terms of gender.
Right.
What that has done to us is, say for example, today I operate with a 34% women workforce globally. In fact, India, which is my tech center and has the largest base,
Mhm.
would be operating at a 36, 37% women workforce. My own team operates at a 48% women workforce. So for us, we always operated from a perspective that we will build a balanced organization and
Right.
we will hire talent for what they do. In fact, about 25% of my leaders, that is senior manager and upwards, in the company are women leaders. So we also have women leaders leading teams globally in different functions. For example, my marketing head is a woman leader. Some of my tech leaders are women leaders. We have people in our product team, sales team who are women leaders who are leading either regions or are leading the globe in terms of product strategy, etc. So we have a lot of women leaders. Was it tough to build? Answer is no. Is it interesting to have women workforce from different cultural backgrounds? Of course, yes. We have made our fair share of stupid mistakes while we were looking at hiring talent across the globe. But it's you sort of learn and grow, learn and grow, learn and grow. That's how we operated, and we're very proud of building what we've built today in terms of a global workforce with a good woman diversity ratio.
Oh, that's an interesting approach, Vinay. So it truly highlights that if gender diversity is in the core values, it's not a challenge. It's something that comes naturally, and it's great to see how it is going on. So my next question, Vinay, is: was there any woman in your life, personally or professionally, who inspired you to aim higher in your career?
Uh, so I live in a house which is woman dominated. Until a few years back, we had a 4:2 ratio, four women and two men in the house.
Okay.
Um, Today, I live with three women in the house, one man and three women. So, for us, naturally, the upbringing has been respect everybody. That's how we've sort of lived.
Right.
Um, in fact, I would say that my father was an inspiration in that sense because we've seen a generation which used to wear ghungat till here, including my mom. I've sort of seen her.
Mhm.
Uh, from there to her starting her own business and running it by herself, we've seen the whole transition, right? So for me, I would say I was inspired by him on how you can really help women in the house, and that naturally I think translates into a behavior pattern when it comes to workforce. I don't see that, oh, this job can be done by a man, this can be done by a woman. In fact, we run 24/7 operations here at our India center,
Right.
and I have close to 40-50% of women working in the night shifts who come work. So, that thought process that I've seen in my house has naturally rubbed off in how we build the organization.
Sure. Thank you so much. Truly intriguing, Vinay. So my next question is, I want to know, as a leader, if you had a chance to witness any moment where a woman from your team has broken the barriers or had defied the expectations, and how did it impact you personally?
So again, I wouldn't really put this in a spectrum saying that, oh, did a woman uh, break any barrier, or I mean, because the minute I start boxing them,
Hmm.
um, I'm sort of I'm sort of lowering my prism of thoughts, because I don't think um, we need to make a big deal of these things, in the sense that for me. Men, women, both are equal, and that's how we see in the organizational context as well.
Absolutely.
Um, for us, if we have to provide a certain additional safety net, or a certain additional security to make sure that women feel safe, we do that naturally. We don't do that, oh, because we have women and we have a diversity target and therefore we have to do what we have to do. That's not what we see.
Right.
In fact, one of my team members won the TerraPay Young HR Award, which I won many years back in the first edition, and I was super proud of her. She happened to be a woman. I was super proud of her that she won the award that I won, many years back.
Right.
Um, Typically, the way I operate, and the way I would like the leaders to operate as well, is you should give challenging tasks to your team members. You should give tasks that they've never done before, and you will be surprised to see what they can achieve.
Right.
Most of the times, we get stuck with this thought that, oh, there is no experience, so should we risk giving this task to this person or not? We rather give it to somebody who's experienced.
Right.
You're limiting growth and learning for your team members when you do
Mhm.
that. And
Right.
I can give you 10,000 examples where women in my team have done things that they've never done in the past,
Right.
and they're delivering.
Right.
So
Sure, sure.
that's
Great insights. My next question, Vinay, is are there any personal steps that you take beyond policies and initiatives to uplift and mentor women professionals within your organization or beyond?
So, in our context, we had to really create a lot of policies because we are a startup and we did not have a legacy of policies, being created beforehand. So, we went about this whole thing of creating a conducive environment for women to work
Right.
in a very, very commonsensical or a logical manner. For instance,
Hmm.
um, people who women colleagues who go on maternity leave, right? We understand that the maternity leave benefit is for 6 months. We understand that it's difficult for them to come back after 6 months, because mostly people are living in nuclear families. You do not have parental support or grandparent support to take care of child.
Right.
So we recognized, we said, okay, you can continue to work from home for up to 1 year after your maternity benefit is complete. Get yourself comfortable, and when the child is okay to go to a creche, you
Right.
can on work, so you can leave your child in the creche and you can sort of join.
Right.
Second, we created a women safety group. We call it WSG.
Okay.
The women safety group is a very simple, it's not like a very complicated one. We have one mentor, and we
Mhm.
have 7 or 8 junior women employees as mentees who are
Okay.
tagged to the mentor.
Okay.
And that is a safe space for them to have a conversation.
Sure.
So in case they're feeling unsafe, they have a comment, they have a feedback, they want to share something, we can use that forum and people discuss. In fact, a very interesting thing came out of those discussions. We were debating, saying, do we give period leave for women, right? And this has been a debate that has been happening, and some organizations have taken a lead to do that. The woman in my organization, in fact, came up and said, "Why are you discriminating us, and why should we get an additional leave? If there is a requirement, we'll work from home. Why are you even trying to get a policy created around this?" And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised and taken aback that this is how people in my organization are thinking. And I said, "That's brilliant. We will do whatever you say. You're the boss, and we decide what women say." So these kind of groups and forums where we allow free flowing conversations, where we allow ideas to be exchanged, definitely helps us, and definitely helps the woman feel safe. So we have WSG as an initiative, which we really are proud of as an organization.
Sure.
And lastly, we have a very human-based approach when it comes to both the genders, right? Sometimes even men need that care, concern, etc. So our policies are usually human-based. If there is a human requirement, we facilitate that. And if we think there is no human requirement, we don't facilitate that. That's the logic we use.
Sure, sure. To summarize, there is a conducive environment that is created for women. There is WSG, and there is a holistic view to look at things, which is a human-based approach there. So thank you so much. Great insights, Vinay. So my last question for today is there a piece of advice that you would like to give to other male leaders on how to championing women empowerment at workplace?
I think as leaders, right, whether we like it or we don't like it, we have a collective responsibility of shaping cultures in the organization. And this is not just HR leaders, right? This is essentially all the leaders, right? The advice that I would like to give is on 2 or 3 different counts. The first count is you need to respect the diversity you have on your team, in the sense that a lot of leaders, um, you know, continue to pass comments like, "Oh, it is that time of the month. That is why this person has a mood swing," right? We do not realize that it creates an impact on the team, right? Women somehow have become very used to these things, and so they take it in stride, saying that this is how these men will behave, and we should not really keep overreacting. But I think leaders play an important role in creating a respectful environment for everybody on the team, and everybody has to be mindful of what your subconscious bias is bringing out in conversations. For all you know, they may be thinking it's a joke, and everybody will have a hearty laugh over a smoke, but then that's not the right thing to do. So first thing is respect diversity on your team, right? Second thing is, um, if you are willing to give flexibility to anybody for any reason, right? Um, Respect the fact that you're giving it because the organization is backing, right? Some leaders tend to get into a zone where they say, "Oh, I give flexibility to my team," or "I am the one who's doing this," blah blah blah. I think leaders should refrain from taking credit. It's usually it would have come out of a discussion, it would have come out of some crisis. You never know. But I tend to see a lot of leaders saying, "Oh, we do this and we give this flexibility, etc., etc." So I think you should, if you're giving flexibility, respect it. Do not disrespect it by bragging about it. I think leaders should refrain from doing that. And third thing that I would like the leaders to really ponder upon is the day you don't have to have diversity agendas. For example, I do not have a diversity agenda. I'm not hiring women workforce because I need to meet a percentage.
Right.
I'm hiring women workforce because I believe that they are competent and they're equal to everybody else in the system, and therefore they get hired, right? I'm hiring for skill and value. I'm not hiring for creating a brownie point of saying, oh, I have a diverse workforce, etc., etc. I think if leaders understand that, if you stop chasing these percentages and start chasing excellence, you will not have to worry about these ratios. And that's a point all of these leaders need to ponder upon. And that can only happen when you really have logical policies, commonsensical approach. If somebody needs help, then can we, provide for help? If somebody needs a safe zone, can you provide for a safe zone? If somebody needs to vent out, can you provide a venting zone? If you don't do all of this, you'll keep chasing numbers, which tend to, by the way, irritate women. These days, a lot of colleagues come and tell, "Oh, am I a part of some reservation category? That's how I got hired." Because my manager keeps saying that, "Oh, I only hired you because my HR told that I have to hire 20% women in my team. Others, I would have hired somebody else." The impact it creates. So there are a lot of things that happens in this. So therefore, the last point that I said is, respect diversity. Don't hire for numbers, but hire for talent and competence. You will build a diverse workforce anyways.
Sure, interesting point. So it clearly highlights that these things has to come naturally, Vinay. It cannot be just a tick in the box. And I think because of that, only coming to your second point, you said leaders tend to brag about things. So when you have an agenda, that's when you talk about it. But when you know that it is coming naturally to you, you
Yeah.
forget about talking about it and rather take intentional actions to make an inclusive workplace for both the genders. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was truly insightful. This brings us to the end of the masterclass. And on behalf of HRAI, I would like to thank you for sharing your perspectives and insights today about leadership, mentorship, inclusivity. So thank you so much. I feel that listeners are going to greatly benefit, Vinay. Thank you so much.
I'm glad I could spend a couple of minutes in explaining a perspective. I hope leaders take this perspective and build on it. I hope people who are listening in get one or two takeaways from the conversation and implement that in their organization. Thank you to HRAI. The dialogue series is a fantastically run series, and you guys have been doing this consistently for many years now. So hats off to the entire team for this. Keep doing a good work, and we'll be happy to contribute.
Thank you so much, Vinay, for your kind words. Really appreciate it. And as I mentioned, it'll always be a pleasure to have you contribute and share your insights. Thank you so much. I'll just have a quick note to our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning into this masterclass. If you enjoyed today's conversation, do not forget to subscribe and leave a review. Until we meet next time, stay inspiring and innovating. Thank you.